Hi, and welcome to the walkthrough for the HERME brand color logo. When you get your link, you'll be directed to this page and you just hit use template to bring that into your own Canva account. And now it's time to make this logo your own. So the first thing you're going to want to do is change the name here, and this works with either a single company name or your actual first and last name. So you can go ahead and change that to whatever it is. I'm going to pretend it is something simple like Sarah Smith. And then what you're going to want to do is change the icons in the back of this logo. And if it's a little bit too tricky to get back there, what I've done is I've grouped these together for you. So as you can see, they're both linked together, and that's just to avoid repositioning it by accident and then trying to get it back to where it was. So what you can do is you can hit ungroup, and that way you can work with them individually. And if it's a little bit tricky to get back there, I would just suggest that you select the name, move it out of the way, designation, move it out of the way, and then just work with the icons first. So I'm going to change this to S, and then S, and move that back up when I'm done. And then of course you can change your designation. So if it's just realtor, what you can do is move it around until you're happy with it. If you like it in the middle, that's fine. You can put it off to the side and then either increase the size of the type to make it fit a little bit nicer, and then moving it over slightly. And what you can also do, here's another trick, is head over to the spacing tab and then adjust the spacing in between the lettering here. And then once you've done that, you can arrange it however you like. I kind of like it in the middle, so I'm going to leave it there. Now the primary logo is the one that you're going to be using most often. Think on business cards, on your email signature, everything that you use to promote your business. This is your go-to logo. So you want to spend the most time on this first logo because everything else will just be adjustments based on what you do here. So if you want to change the font, you can select your name and head over here and just scroll through the fonts here, and you can change it to anything that resonates with you. If you want to change the color, same thing, you just select it, head over to the color tab, and if you have a specific color, you're going to head over to the color palette here and put in the hex code. So if you know the hex code, this is where you pop it in, and that's how you would change the color. If you want to change the orientation of this or add some kind of element to your logo, you can do that by heading over to the Elements tab on the left and then typing in anything that you want to add to this. So maybe you don't like this SS in the background, it's not resonating with you. So what we're going to do is remove that, and you are digging this flower. So you're going to bring that in, head over to the color tab, and I've just chosen a color that's already in the document, and I'm just going to place this here, and that might be something that you want to do for your logo just to differentiate it and make it your own, and just replace the L with this stem. I really like that. So once you are satisfied, completely 100% satisfied with your primary logo, you want to head on down to your secondary logo and apply anything that you've done here, any changes that you've made to this secondary logo. So when will we use the secondary logo? Secondary logos they're usually stacked, and as you can see, they fit well into a square. So if you need to send your logo to a company that's promoting something and they're like, well, we need a smaller version of your logo or nobody's going to be able to read it, this is pretty much what they're asking for. They're asking for something that fits into a very specific frame or size, and your long logo like this, when it shrink down, it won't be legible. So they're asking you for a different orientation, and this is what you would send them. So I'm going to change the name, and then I'm going to adjust it so that it's centered, change this to realtor, increase the size like I did in the first one, and then increase the spacing. And that would be the logo that I send when, or the logo that I use when and if this logo doesn't work. So now I'm going to move down to the submark, and the submark is just the initial that you or your company would be known for. So if your last name, for example, when this was the Chris Herme logo, what you would be running with is the Herme last name. So that's why there was an H. If you're not running with Smith, you're running with Sarah, you would use the first initial. Here it's the same, so it doesn't really matter. But it's up to you, whichever you want your brand to be known for, then this is what, that's the letter that you're going to be using there. If you do something like this and you add an icon, your submark can then become the icon. So rather than using an initial, what you can do is take this icon, and I'm just hitting Command C on my keyboard and bringing it down to this area here. I'm deleting this because I'm not going to be using it. I'm going to be using this icon instead. And this is great for things like social media posts. So if you are posting things on social media and you don't want the distraction of this big logo, then you just place this flower in the corner, and that becomes recognizable as your brand without distracting from the actual post on Instagram, let's say. For now, I'm just going to keep it relatively large. And then same thing goes for this. I'm going to copy this, and I'll just show you. I'm just going to delete the initial, paste this, and then change the color, oops, to white, and then shrink it so it fits in the box. And then this, you can adjust the box too. It doesn't have to be this size. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna just make it a little bit smaller here. And then you would do the same thing where this goes on social media in a little square. For this particular initial, what we've done is we've used a color from the color palette over here. So as you can see, there's a color in the color palette that's a lighter color. We just thought that it was a little bit less harsh than the white. So, but you can use white as well. So you just highlight it and change the color, and I'm going to change this to S because we're changing it to Sarah Smith. And that's it. Once you're happy with all of this, you head over to download, and depending on where you're using your logo, you download different files. So a PNG file will be downloaded with a transparent background. So this is great for social media posts or anywhere where you need to have a transparent background. Another option would be for PDF print. This is a great option if you're sending it to a designer. They're going to need it in a high resolution, and the PDF print will give them that high resolution. That's pretty much it, because the resolution's not there to design anything with it. However, if you're doing most of your designing in Canva, you can just leave it in here and then open up a new document in Canva and copy by hitting Command A on your keyboard. I think it's Control A on a PC. And this will select all the elements on your canvas. And once you've done that, you hit Command C or Control C, and that copies it. You can also right click and hit copy. Now I've copied my logo, and when I head into a new document, when I open up this brand new canvas in Canva and I hit Command V on my keyboard or right click paste, it brings it into this new design. Okay, so once I've brought this into the new document, I'm going to head over to Elements. I'm going to grab a square frame, which should be easy enough to find, but right now it's not. And I'm going to put this here and send it to the back so that I can see my logo. Now I'm going to head over to Photos. I'm going to choose the photo that I want to bring in, and it's just going to pop into the frame once you drag it over. I'm going to head back over to Elements and choose the square shape, put that over my design, change the color to match our color palette, and then this box here adjusts the transparency. Just going to send that backwards so it's behind the logo, and then I'm going to adjust the colors of everything in my logo to be white, And that is how you could showcase your new logo to social media. And if you need any more help, please head over to 4thstreetcreative.com/tutorials, and we have a multitude of tutorials there to help you with everything from removing backgrounds from photos to how to change your PNG file colors online for free. It's all there, so if you need any more help, please head over there. We also have the HERME tutorial library that will guide you with changing the black logo, the white logo, the icon set, the patterns. It's all there for you. Happy designing!